All right, so we'll talk about iterators. In the set or maps, we don't have an index. So we are using for each loop to go over every element in the set or in the map. So here is an example that the score is a set of integers. And then if we want to print each one of them, right, in our own way, instead of using the toString methods, and then we can do the for each loop. So we'll say for each score, colon, in the set here, and then we go inside to do the print. Now, the issue here is that for each loop, it's read only, which means that you cannot modify the content of the set. So we really cannot say change the score to some other values. We cannot modify the score. We cannot, remove it. So pretty much in the for each loop, it's just for presentations. But sometimes we do need to do some modifications. So what can we do is we're using iterators. Iterator is an object that will allow us to do those like traveling through, okay, to loop over each element, just like a for loop-ish, okay? So the iterator is an object that they will have kind of like a reference or pointers that point to where their current index is, and if they have a next. If they do have next, then they can go to the next. So here is the method, because iterator is an object, okay? Or the capital I iterator, it's an interface, okay? So we can use it by, again, import the java.util. So iterator, we can have a string iterator, and this string iterator will and pointing to this specific set, and then we will use the set.iterator to link the iterator ITR and point to this specific set, and then we can use them to do the loop. So every iterator object will have a three method. We'll check to see if it has a next element. If it's true, that means they still have more element to examine. If it returns false, means they examine everything. And then the next means that they go into the next one. If there's a next one, they can do remove. That means they can remove the value that returns by the next one. Okay. Again, if we don't really call the next one and we are trying to remove, then there could be an error. So how we're using it? This is a set. We can add them, right? We can add them, each one of those. And then we're using an iterator, and then we can use the while loop to going through each of the iterator. We can get the score, and we can run the next, to save the score into an integer, and then we can check to see, all right, if this is less than 60, we can remove it. So this is a set. Now it will remove 38, it will remove 43. Okay, so it's actually going through each one of them to examine it. The for each loop won't allow us to manipulate the set, but the iterator will allow us to manipulate the set. So this is the iterator for the set, and this is the iterator for the map. So how can we do the map, right? And we can, this is the string and the integer. So again, we have a name associated with each of the scores. And we can use the iterator related with the key set. We can use the key set, okay? And then we can go over the keys. We can loop over the keys. Again, we can find out that if their score is less than 60, and we can remove them. All right. So the iterator pretty much need here. So yeah, the iterator, how can we do the iterator is, let's go to the Codiva. Let's go to the Codiva. And so I can have chapter 11, go to iterator. Okay. So we'll create. And again, the first thing you also need to do import java.util, and we'll change the class to public. And so let's do the set first, right? We'll do set string, and again, we can call this names equal to new set, new hash set. It's not ordered. Okay. And we can do names.add. We can add the names again. I try to get to know you, so I always want to use your name, Sarah. All right. We can add. So can add quite a few. All right. And Reggie, right? We'll do Reggie. Let's copy. And so there are 3 Mohammeds. Okay, we have baby. And cell, copy. Okay, so we can add those one here, and this is create a set. So if we want, we can print them all here, right? We can print them all here. So let's do something kind of interesting here. Is in the example here, right? When we do the set, they just add the score here. They actually do remove. I guess we could do that too. I have a name. So if we want to change the list here, and I will say while, so we can come out. And so if we want to change the names, right, we can do iterator. So we'll have iterator, capital iterator, and this iterator is a string, right? And then we'll give a name. Sometimes it's kind of interesting. We'll just call this I, right? It's kind of like the for loops we're using I, okay? And then we'll say the names at iterator. We have, so we actually point this one to the names, and then to the names, and then we'll call this iter. So it's very similar to here, right? When we have a set, and we can just go and call the set iterator. Every collection has an iterator methods, okay, to create an object of the iterator. And then we'll go here, we'll do the while loop. We'll say while I dot as next. All right, so this is kind of our iterator I. If it has next, and then we can have a string, one name equal to I dot next. So we can examine this one. We can get the name out, and then we can do the if statement too. We'll say if name dot index of. So if, let's just say, if any of the name contains, I don't know, which one? Maybe S, lowercase s. Okay, so if it contains a lowercase s, okay, and if it contains, if any of the name contains the lowercase name s, then we can names that remove. Okay, if remove name, so we'll remove them from the list. Am I doing this right? Oh, if the index is greater than or greater than equal to 0, okay? Because index returns an integer. So if we find any name is greater than equal to 0, so which means it's not negative, then we'll remove that name from the names. All right. And then we'll print this again. So this is like processing it, right? Then we'll print again. So which one has a lowercase s? And just Nicholas has it, right? And so it should just print, it should remove the Nicholas name from the whole list. And that should be it. So here is the one is, so I is an object of iterator, right? So iterator is an interface, or you can call this, again, as I say, interface is actually a class. And by calling this method here, so every connection has an iterator method. So when we call this method, we actually return an object, okay, of iterator. And then we can use the has next method to check to see if it has next element. and we use the next to go to the next, and then we can manipulate. Okay, so this is a manipulation here. We can manipulate the collection, or in this case, the set here. Again, the for each method, you just cannot change. It's a read only, but the iterator will allow us to go inside the set and to do whatever we want to do, you know, to read, to write, to change. See, so this is the way I remove, right? What about I want to change? So if I want to change, I think I can do this. Oh, names that remove. Names, it's a set, okay? So I can remove the set, okay? Yeah, so let's do remove. It's easier for the moment. So if I run this one, I should see the names set will be changed by, you know, removing the Nicholas from the set. So if I run this one, oops, what's wrong? Exception, concurrent modification. One, two, three, four. They don't like. Yeah. That's what I thought too when they do this remove. Oh, I shouldn't do the names. It's an iterator that remove. Okay, it's my fault. It's not names. It's I that remove. Is it? If I find the name and I dot remove. Okay, here we go. That should be it. Here we go. Okay, I shouldn't go ahead and directly change on the name, and I should really be using the iterator, because the iterator knows which one is there, so they can pointing to where that I need to change. So look here, and so everyone else is still in the set except Nicholas, because that's the only name has the S. So I kind of made the mistake. I was using the names to do the remove, okay? And actually I have to using, so I'll make my notes too. So using the iterator, remove, not the set here. Okay, so that was my mistake. We need to use the iterator for remove call, because when we remove, the whole set has been changed. So I cannot change it, and then I cannot modify it directly on it. It needs to going through the iterator here. So that's the example for iterator, and I will